for your seminars, and you'll find out about this strategy to have a life insurance policy that allows you to invest extra cash to grow tax-free. It's not to get more life insurance. That's just an excuse to have the cash account. I'm Tom Martino. I talk about all kinds of weird stuff like this. So if you have a question about anything I advertise, you call. Unlike any other show, when we recommend people, we also stand behind them and we recommend them and take the calls on them. And you would know is safe, conservative investing, cash value with tax-free growth, and they show you how to extract the cash to supplement your retirement without any penalties. And that's becomethebanker.info. And, you know, we have John, who has a roofing problem. He's been waiting a while. We'll get John. And tell him I'll go. John, what's happening with your roof? What's going on?
Hey, Tom, thanks for having me.
What's going on?
Hey, so our roof, we had a roofing company come out and replace the roof due to hail damage.
And I looked at it. The photo. Tell me what the problem is. The roofer came out when? When was this job done?
It was done in July, and the cap was installed without them trimming the vent stack on the dryer vent.
Does it all boil down to that problem?
Yes.
Okay. Well, why don't they just fix it? I mean,
okay, so they trimmed the cap.
This is a very tight shot. I almost don't know what I'm looking at. So what is it? What am I looking at?
The vent stack is touching the top of the cap. So
I got it. So it's sitting on top of it.
Yes.
How ridiculously stupid is that? And what's all that fuzzy stuff around behind the grill?
That's lint. They left the screen in there, which also caught lint.
Well, is that screen code? Why do they have a screen on it?
The screen's supposed to come out.
How do you know that?
Well, I'm a mechanical engineer.
Okay. This is a vent for what?
That's the dryer vent.
On your roof?
Yes.
You have a dryer vent on your roof, and when they capped it, they literally capped it.
Yes.
But what I don't understand is why there's a screen around a dryer vent. Now, I've seen them before with screens, but for the life of me, I don't know why, because it's a trap for lint. Now, you're saying that screen is supposed to be removed. So, in other words, that screen, did it come with the cap?
It comes with the cap. They're supposed to take it out.
No, okay, that makes no sense to me, and I'm not disputing it. I'm just asking, why would they include something and they say, oh, by the way, make sure you don't put this on? I mean, why do they include a screen that fits perfectly around the cap? Why?
So, in my view, it's a bug screen to keep bugs from going into your house, but it's got a gravity damper on it, so they shouldn't go in there anyway.
Okay, why do they supply it?
I don't know.
This has nothing to do with your problem. I'm just a fanatical, crazy person when I hear something illogical. So, we have a cap that goes over this flue, or this vent, and the cap comes with a neat screen that perfectly fits on it, but it's not supposed to be used. So maybe it says, I don't know. I mean, okay. So what would hold up that cap without the screen? Because the screen, for people listening, goes around the vent, and the cap sits on the screen. What would hold up that cap if it didn't have the screen?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
All right. What holds the cap? Okay, let's pretend the screen's not there. How do you install the cap?
Yeah, the cap is flashed, so it goes underneath the shingles around it.
You're calling it a cap. Are you talking about a cap over the top of a vent? Why do people take microscopic pictures anyway? They never give us perspective that we can see. This picture could be, I don't know. Here's the thing I want to ask you. If the cap is supposed to sit 3 or 4 inches above the opening of your vent, isn't that right?
Yes. That's
okay.
Correct.
Then what holds it there? Is it suspended in midair by God? How is it held there?
It's nailed to the roof. So there's flashing around the cap, and that's where it's nailed.
So it's nailed up above the vent on the sloping roof.
Right. It's nailed to the deck of the roof.
Okay, you'll have to take other pictures. I swear to God, I cannot visualize this. I can't. Picture a vent coming out of a roof, and the cap, I don't know what he did wrong. I don't even know what to tell him when I call him. I swear I don't know what to tell him. Does that photo tell you anything, Mark?
I think what he's saying.
No, I know what he's saying. He's saying that the cap is sitting on top, blocking,
which is
blocking
ridiculous.
his dryer vent. We want him to fix it. Okay, and when he says I did it right, what am I going to tell him? I just need to help you, but you have to at least give me some information. John, what's the name of the roofer? This idiot should have come out on your first phone call and just checked it. Did he at least come out and check it?
Yeah, so he actually trimmed the dryer vent down, so it would allow air to actually come out the cap.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I mean, did this moron see the problem when he got there? It's pretty obvious that a cap is not supposed to shut off a vent.
Yes.
Okay, so he cut it down, and what did he say about it?
He said subsequently, if your dryer breaks within like a week or so, let us know, which is exactly what happened.
Wait, how long was this plugged?
Well, it was like that for approximately 5 months before I went on the roof to go.
So you didn't know why your dryer started not drying well?
Yes.
Okay. And it ruined your dryer?
Yes. Well, the thermal overload on it tripped, so we had it repaired, and now it's tripped again, so we think that the vent stack is all clogged up with,
Yeah, but I don't think the dryer is ruined. I don't think so. I don't think the safety circuits in those newer dryers, you're not going to ruin it. You're not asking for a new dryer, right?
No, I'm just asking them to come out and clean my vent stack and actually get everything operational.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Or remove the screen.
Well, the screen is removed now. But,
okay.
I mean,
why didn't you take a picture of the way it is right now? Could you please take pictures that we can actually see what we're talking about? Take a side view, a medium shot, a couple close shots. Meanwhile, Dan, can you go call this roofer and just tell this idiot roofer to come and fix it once and for all? John, what's the name of the roofing company?
It's Rampart Roofing.
Rampart. Where'd you find them?
They're a local roofing company.
Where'd you find them?
Well, they have commercials. They're
okay. So you heard about them.
Well known.
And where are they? And where are they located?
In Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I would have called down there in Colorado Springs. I mean, Petrali for sure. Excel's down there too. All right. Jeff, what's the screaming deal you have for listeners? I'm asking my referral list members to come up with screaming deals. Mark was shocked at how few people have called in with screaming deals. What do you have, Jeff?
Do you want the short version or the long version?
The short version always. Then okay. I'll ask questions. This is City Lock in Boulder, but they serve the Denver metro area as well. But you ask people. Well, go ahead and just do your special, and then we'll figure it out.
Okay. City Lock is giving the first 630 callers free diagnostics and programming, absolutely free, with the purchase of 2 or more keys or remotes in any combination. If they want to get 1 key, 1 remote, or 2 remotes, or 2 keys.
Now, here's what I'm going to try. Okay, any combination of 3 units?
With the purchase of 2 or more devices.
Oh, 2 or more devices. Okay.
Free programming, free diagnostics.
Is that a big deal? I mean, because people are saying, "Well, Tom, that's not a deal." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. People are saying that, but if they do,
it is a good deal.
Tell me why.
Why? Because if you try to do a kind of a short-run approach where places say we can make keys too, they're cloning the key. They're not really programming the car.
What's wrong with that?
Well, there's a number of things. When you're doing diagnostics on the car isn't seeing each key as an individual key if they're cloned. It's seeing them all as the same key.
So?
You can run into issues when you have a failure. When other work is being done, you'll be paying $125 for diagnostics to figure out what's wrong before they ever figure the keys are the problem.
Okay, I'll take you at your word. So what you're saying is just cloning a key is not really the way to do it with the new transponder keys.
The type of transponder used for cloning isn't as reliable. They have a tendency to get corrupted.
All right, so you're going to do free programming with the purchase of 2 or more devices, whether it's a key or a transponder or a combination or a fob. What, Mark?
Yeah, I got a general question. If I give you a VIN number, can you make me a key, or do you got to actually come out? How does that work for, say, like a new Ford or a new Hyundai, a new anything?
Well, the only thing the VIN number is used for is to get the information for cutting the cuts of the key.
No, I'm talking these key fobs. Like mine's all key. We're all keyless. If I need one, can you do that off the VIN?
I don't know. The VIN has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
All right. So City Lock, if you want free programming and everything that comes with it, you buy 2 or more devices. And here's what I want to tell you. Even if you didn't want the programming, you're not going to find the devices at a better value than City Lock anyway. 303-444-4407. This is especially great if you only have one key and you have a newer car, man, with the newer keys. 303-444-4407. Okay, so Buddy Mitchell, do you have a screaming deal? Now, normally, Buddy, you don't do screaming deals because really and truly, and I mean this sincerely, you are automatically probably 20% lower than most everyone.
Yeah, we do. I got called, and yeah, I can come up with a screaming deal.
Okay.
I'll tell you what we'll do.
Good.
I'll tell you what we do. There's a lot of do-it-yourselfers out there, people looking to save money.
Yeah.
And so what we've got is we call them cash and carry.
Okay.
People.
What does that mean?
Come in, they come in and they buy the product.
Okay.
And they install it themselves.
All right.
So LVT. We have a lot in stock. We're stocking quite a bit right now. And if you buy one of our stock LVTs between now and the end of the year, we'll give you 10% off our prices.
Already?
So,
you mean the already low price? That's excellent.
Yeah, and that's an excellent deal because, with the tariff that we had hit us back in September, we were really afraid that the new tariff that they were going to do here was going to drive LVT way up because most of it's made in China. And so we bought a bunch of it.
Okay.
Well, then they came back and said there's no tariff, so we got quite a bit, and and it's great prices.
All right.
So we're gonna give you the tariff back, which is that everybody's charging, and we're gonna drop the prices 10% on cash and carry.
Right.
And we'll give a good deal on installed products too, but it won't be as steep.
Okay, so here's the deal. If you want to do a cash and carry, you can get an extra 10% off their already low prices. And if you want the whole package, they're going to throw in some extra incentives for you. So you call for details, or you can make an appointment, okay? And then it's simplyfloorsinc.com. But for this special, you may want to talk to Buddy directly. 303-456-4660. 303-456-4660.
Yeah, that's
Pushing back from your fence.
There's a few trouble spots to drive across town. Some activity on the right shoulder southbound 225 approaching the road. Somebody took out a light pole there, so watch out for some delays there. Curiosity's flowing.
We got to call that
highway drive from the metro area. Westbound
He's calling right now.
Slow either side of Federal. Southbound I-25 slow downtown.
What is LVT?
Luxury
vinyl tile.
Now,
like the inside doesn't really kind of looks like this really.
Looks even better. It can look like hardwood. It can look like anything.
Did you get paid?
Yeah, I think so. I need more though.
It'd be great for your show.
I love this. Come on, I have a little hole on my tire near the edge. This is no problem. We can fix it. So I have her go in. The guy says, "Oh my gosh, we can't fix it." And by the way, if you can't buy just one tire. You got to buy them all, and all of your tires are defective, and they only have 16,000 miles on them. No, on a serious note.
You think you're gonna put together?
Al, if I thought I was being put together, come on.
We got to blow it.
But Al, listen. Listen.
You didn't bother to say that you have run flat tires.
No. What are run flats?
They just have a sealant.
How long can you drive on? No. She had no air.
Do they have goo in them?
No. She had no air, but she didn't even know. She had no air and was driving. And it was handling pretty well. Now, obviously, it's not made for the long run.
How did she know?
They don't even have a spare or a jack in the
There's nothing in that body.
Now listen. It
must have not even a compressor.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a can of stuff in there. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is it, Mark, listen to this. Yes. We looked at her odometer. Yes. She has 16,000 miles on her car.
She didn't rotate.
Well, we don't go to you for that because we're still under warranty.
Yeah, rotate is one of the biggest fucking things.
Those cars freaking chew up tires. The Mercedes, they chew up tires.
But those Pirellis must be pieces of shit.
They're pieces of
well,
shit.
they're performance.
Those cars chew the tires. They put in those cars, on the alignment settings of that car, they make it hang out like this. Because it's designed for the sport ride when you get the weight in the car. You freaking went out of tires.
Yours will go through tires quick.
I went new tires. I got new tires on them.
They suck.
My G-Wagon, you will be. Well, yeah, there's no reason why you can't service that.
Somebody loved it so much you brought us candy.
Yeah, I know. You can service my G-Wagon, right?
The MV Real Estate Academy has created a 3-step paper.
Why not? Yeah, of course.
But you'll go through what needs to be done at certain times.
He can tell you right now without looking at it, it needs tires.
Yeah, I bought new tires. My guy said, man, feel that Martino. He is tough, man. Holy shit. Why? I said, no, he's a nice guy. No, cause I like him. No, they were talking to me, and then Stephanie's talking on the other side of this thing, and she's like, you know what? Maybe it can be a Christmas gift. I said, tires? I said, you're a total redneck, man. They get tires.
Listen, she couldn't have possibly been concerned that I wouldn't buy them. I mean, no. She just knew that I was thinking it was just going to be a repair, and she was,
that's what I was hoping it was,
driving
man.
away with 4
that's what I told
tires.
you. I would have plugged it, yeah, but everything you can on those, and that's my lead guy. He's like, man, those
no, not on a road flat.
No, you can't plug them.
There's inside. There's literally a layer of this fucking black goo, man. So if something comes through it, that black goo basically makes it so air doesn't get out.
And they reinforce the sidewalls on those. That's what 275.
And they're a real
different setup, man.
They're a real bitch to balance too sometimes.
But it's a good thing this happened. Her tires, all of them were running. You said the wear mark.
Yeah, wear bars, absolutely. Yeah, the guys are like, yeah, you don't have a lot of time. The thing that would suck is when you first get that slushy ice, the freaking car won't stop, man. That's the worst.
When the what's that little Toyota Prius? When the Priuses first came out, man, they would wear the front tires off in 3,000 miles. 3,000 miles, and your back tires would be like brand new.
How often should we rotate?
Just the torque.
On that car, you would probably do 5,000 miles.
Every oil change.
Yeah. So you have full synthetic on that one, and Mercedes is going to tell you probably 7,000 on the oil changes. Do like 5. To make that
we have prepaid service.
He'll sell it. How long do you think he'll keep that?
Well, now listen. Stephanie loves cars, and she gets attached to them. She really does. I mean, but that car is so beautiful. Isn't that a beautiful model?
You're cool.
I didn't force this. Think of that car. That cracks me up on that Benz. It's like crazy.
GoCamSolar.com. GoCamSolar.com. Find out about solar. It's good for the planet, good for your pocketbook. The way they do it, no money out of pocket. The monthly payments immediately save you money, so you don't pay electric anymore. And after the system's paid for, that's it. Boom. But if you go to the website, you can get a free analysis of your lot that will predict what you will produce in electricity. It'll predict the 20-year outlook. So you find out for sure, okay? And then they guarantee it, and they guarantee parts and components 20 to 25 years depending on the component. It's either 20 years or 25. And that's both from the manufacturer and from CamSolar. GoCamSolar.com/troubleshooter. That gets you the form to fill out for a free analysis. GoCamSolar.com/troubleshooter. All right, so we're asking our people to do special deals. George Donaldson, fix it 24/7. I've known George since he was a pup. Actually, I would always say, I know George 30 years. He said, Tom, that's impossible because I'm not that old. I would have only been 10 years old or something. George, I've known you for at least 20 years, right?
Correct, yeah. Okay. About 20 years, yeah.
All right. Now, what's the screaming deal?
All right, Tom. So, hey, listen, we're out there running about 50 furnace repairs a day right now.
Okay.
70% to 80% that would have been prevented if these particular clients would have had their systems cleaned and maintained.
Explain how cleaning. This is a real deal. Explain how cleaning, a real cleaning, extends the life.
So dirt, people don't realize when a furnace or air conditioner is running, all of the air in your entire home runs through your furnace within a 2-minute period. So it's collecting that dirt, dust, debris all of the time and cycling it through. So that dirt takes up on the motor, for example, and makes it work harder, makes it work hotter, starts to get in there and get on all the components, your flame sensors, your pressure switches. I mean, all of these things go out because they get dirty and they can't connect and they can't communicate with each other. They work harder. They make seals break because they trap the heat in. And we maintain, I mean, some of these clients did get it maintained, and the company just didn't actually clean it. We clean it. We clean all of that dirt out. We show the client before and after.
Right.
So, I mean, you know,
it's like a refurbishing.
We're seeing every day.
It's like a refurbishing. So what are you going to do for the Screaming Deal?
Our Christmas present to anybody who calls in for the next hour, we'll do it for them for $19.
Oh, my God. Okay, now, this is unfreaking believable because you're going to be amazed. I mean, they took the blower out. They adjusted burners. They did so much to our furnace. Now, here's what you do. It's only for the next hour, so that means at 12:30, let's make it 12:30, it stops. Now, you don't have to obviously have it done today, but you have to call by 12:30. Anyone who calls by 12:30 to schedule it, $19 is unbelievable for this clean and check special with absolutely no obligation on anything else, and that's what you get done. But they will give you a complete diagnostic anyway. I mean, so don't worry about it. If there's anything wrong, they'll tell you, but you're not obligated to do anything. It's $19. Fix it 24/7. You don't do better than that. $19. You got to call by 12:30. Here it is. 720-526-3939. If I had it right now, I'd have it done if I hadn't had it done before. So don't get upset if you had it done a month ago and you paid more, because this is a Christmas deal. 720-526-3939. Deborah, what is going on in your life, Deborah?
Yeah, hi. I had called in before. I was the recipient of stem cell treatment, but I didn't get the 30 million stem cells, so I was told I could, file small claims, and I did that. I paid to have a sheriff serve notice.
Oh, you did?
I found a note on the door that said we're out of business.
Oh, who was it, Deborah?
Atlas Medical.
Atlas. That's the thing. These places come and go. They come and go like the wind. Oh, man. Okay.
I wonder if she could go after whoever the owner was, basically for fraud.
Well, yeah. Fraud pierces a corporate veil. Do you know who was who owned the place? Do you know?
Well, there's two names that came through an email saying, we're sorry to our patients that we had to close our doors. You can still contact Dr. Carlson or Dr. Partridge, and they have an email for them. So I don't really know. I know that Dr. Carlson was the spokesperson, because when you file in small claims, you have to have an agent, and that he's listed as the agent of Atlas.
How'd you find out about this clinic?
Well, I saw it on my phone, and it said, stem cell rejuvenation, blah, blah, blah.
Was it like a Facebook ad? Was it a Facebook ad?
I believe so. In between all of those, ads. And so I went to go hear him at Mimi's. I was the only one there, by the way. And he sounded authentic. He sounded like it would really improve every health condition just about that I could possibly have.
Yeah, all the phonies tell you that it's a miracle and it'll fix anything. Dr. Dean Jones, that scumbag, does the same thing. He went on Fox 31 on Colorado's Best, and he starts lying and all of that, and he went on Channel 9, Colorado and Company, and starts lying about that. And here's the deal, okay? The bottom line is, they let you lie if you pay them. They let you lie. They do. And here's the deal. You were lied to if he said you had living stem cells. But do you have anything to prove that?
Yeah, I sent it to you guys. I have a paperwork that says 30 million stem cells.
Okay.
Dr. Centeno did a blog saying I am truly a recipient of fraud. He put down the 3 different definitions, and I qualify entirely. So I have so much.
Did you go to the Attorney General?
I haven't done that yet.
Don't do it yet. Do it in January when the new Attorney General takes office.
Okay. January? When in January?
When do they take office? When do these guys take office in January? I don't know the official date, but then do it in February, But what I'm saying is you want the new guy. I mean, there's no reason to contact the office now. With the holidays and the change of the office, hell, you won't get anything. But I would like to try to track down this doctor. Do you have any phone numbers for these doctors?
I have an email.
What's the email? Yeah.
The email is e.carlson, drcarlson904@yahoo.com. Now, I've been in his office asking for a refund. He just said plain no.
But did he still maintain you had living stem cells?
Not really. He kind of veered around that. He said, there's other types of cells. I said, my
What's that? Hello?
representative is that I was getting live stem cells. But it says right here on this form, and he just kind of walked around it and didn't want to deal with it.
Well, you know, I want to be fair. There are other cells in amniotic fluid and cord blood that are beneficial, but they are not living stem cells.
Nor should they be costing $5,000-6,000 an injection.
And nor do they really do much better than PRP, platelet-rich plasma. But E. Carlson, E. Carlson, C-A-R-L-S-O-N. I want everyone to listen. E. Carlson 904@yahoo.com. Why don't you email the doctor and tell him you heard about him on the Tom Martino Show, and tell him that Tom Martino would love to talk to him about his lying, cheating, disgusting, rip-off treatment. And in fact, what you can do is give him my phone number, 303-MARTINO. 303-MARTINO. That would be good. All right, 303-713-TALK is our number, and I need to take a quick break, but not without dedicating this to Dr. Carlson. You no good mother dirty rotten son of a scum sucking no class ass pimple leeching rip off punk puking crap eating chump degenerate tard moronic rude turd eating sleazebag snake in the grass vampire wink and twit trolling toad sucking simpleton dumbass doofus dirtbag.
I don't think we've had one auto call.
Yeah. What's that, sir?
Auto. Remind people.
I know. I'll pump it, guys.
In a driver van, I couldn't get a hold of the owner, so I gave him.
Didn't sound like a real message, though.
No, I talked to the person there. They actually had
Okay, so it's a real person.
But
a cool lanyard.
Using mechanical engineering.
Black
I out
Ops.
myself.
Money. Steam. My kid wants a Steam gift card.
I did under the myself.
What's Steam?
It's a service like Netflix for games.
Oh.
If you want granite,
Do they send them to you?
Listed it all out.
They're all digital. You know, you download, I guess, or
great prices, and you know how confident he is. If you
this is cool. He underlined or you?
That's him. That's his underlining. That's his message to me.
How old is
he? Just turned 17.
He's not the mechanic.
No, Alex.
Alex is the one that I.
Yeah.
I didn't meet this kid.
Alex didn't have that whole.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay. Carlos and Alex and
Leo and
who?
Leah.
Here she paid the sheriff.
Are they
Pays
twins?
for the small
Yeah,
damage.
that's what I
She didn't go there ahead of
Which
time.
one
See if he was out of
was
it.
Stephanie raving about?
Leah. They was just like, she's like, I need to hire your daughter.
I tell
Did
you
Leah,
what.
did Leah get a kick out of Stephanie?
They knew it was an LLC.
She goes,
Oh,
she is a talker, man. She goes, we drove, and they were both going to go. We talked the entire time.
Hey, they prayed.
Yeah, yeah, she's pretty funny. She's just, she loved her.
I know. I love to get people's impressions when they meet.
No, she thought the world. She was just like, oh my God, she's funny. She goes, we would talk. And we talk about something, then we start talking about something else, then we talk about something else. We're just like all over the place.
Let's see.
I had to reload, just to let you know.
What?
I unplugged the thing by mistake.
I've done more damage to ISIS than all recent presidents. Not even close.
That's true.
Oh, what has he done?
That's
Obama took out Osama.
That wasn't ISIS, so.
Who's Al Qaeda?
He's done more. There's no doubt. No one. There's not even an argument on the Dems from that.
Of course, taken out Obama? Osama?
No. Trump has done more against ISIS than anybody.
Stephanie says, OMG. Proverbs 16:18, pride goes before the fall, and a haughty spirit before destruction. She thinks he's so arrogant.
She thinks he is arrogant? He is arrogant.
There's no doubt.
Oh, of course. Well, he's daytime.
You know what? He doesn't give a crap about
He does not.
No, he doesn't, man.
Do you think he honestly could get reelected?
No, I don't.
Now, listen, people.
I'm not telling you what I think, what my personal feelings are. Listen, what does it matter what I think? You know, it's not. But I don't think he cares. I think there's some attributes that you want. I like the idea he doesn't give a shit and will do what he if he's doing what he thinks is right.
Yep, me too.
I hate.
He is definitely not a politician.
But at the same time, I want a certain amount of dignity. I know.
Well, right now, who are the Democrats putting up that are going to take him off his seat?
That's the thing no one's saying.
I personally think, first of all, the media hates him. Everyone in the media.
Well, the media freaking hates him.
Yeah, that's starting to backfire on the media.
I don't know about that.
But this George Mattis.
Oh, it is.
You read, if you guys read
they simply, people really believe
Mattis?
What did you say?
Oh, man. He didn't name him exactly.
Did he basically say he's an asshole?
Well, he basically said that you're not getting along with your allies, and this is hurting us.
He's talking about, not in the White House, he's talking about.
His recent move with Syria was applauded by Putin, and his defense guy quit. I mean, what does that say?
That's Mattis, right.
I mean, that Russia
I'm glad we're out of it.
Your own defense secretary quits.
But I'm glad we're out of it, but they probably should have been on the same page. Syria's a Vietnam. It's going to be Vietnam.
Kill that Syrian president.
Well, he is.
He's not that bad of a guy. When I say that, whoa. I talked to a guy who grew up in Syria while he was there. He said, yes, he's a dictator.
Bro. And gases.
No. Okay. It's just like it's. But look, if you take him out,
he's saying he's not the worst of the evils over there.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name from Iraq?
We should have never got rid of Hussein. Yeah. He had those people under control.
Right. Same with Gaddafi, Libya. You got 3 huge nets
they dragged his ass through the fucking.
So what I'm saying is,
who's Gaddafi. What a way to go.
What about Idi Amin? Does that bring him back?
They cut off his fucking junk and put it in his fucking mouth.
His what?
His junk.
But I mean, they're bad guys, but
they killed him good.
Oh, man.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
303-713-TALK. Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair is doing an offer where they'll first of all, they remove your transmission, open it up, lay it out, and give you a detailed description and diagnostic free. You may say, wait a minute. What if I don't want to get it fixed? Free. What if I do get it fixed? Do they put it on the invoice? No, free. What if I want to take it somewhere else? Free. Now, they will try to get your business by offering you discounts. In fact, if you already have a bid on your transmission, they'll beat it by $250 or 10%, whichever is more. Just give them a call. This is a crazy deal. I mean, anybody will tell you that. It's a crazy deal, especially those in the biz. I mean, you know, taking apart a transmission, you got a risk there, right? Not for the consumer. It's all upside for the consumer. I can't think of one. You call me if you do. I'm serious. Call me if you can think of anything negative that can come from this. Taking apart a transmission, looking at it, and giving a complete diagnostic free. 303-781-9858, 781-9858, Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair. On my referral list, John has a question about a bank. Go ahead. What's going on, John?
Yeah, Tom. The other day, I think it was G.G. Wink said that Sunflower Bank had 2.35% interest on money markets.
Oh, I didn't hear her talk. I didn't hear her talk about that.
Just briefly, yeah.
Did you remember that, Mark?
No.
Okay. Or do you remember that? Okay. So what about it, sir?
My question was, the bank doesn't have the greatest ratings, but of course it is FDIC.
Here's the thing I often wondered. What does that mean when a bank doesn't have good ratings? What rating agency are you going at? Are you?
Well, I looked at a half a dozen,
but like
on the internet, and I looked up other banks as well.
What do they mean, though? What do they mean? Yeah. I mean, if they're in business and they're insured, what does
it mean?
I think
they talked about how secure they were.
In other words, if they go out of business.
Right.
Okay.
So most of the ones I looked at were maybe between 4 and 5 rating.
The only time that
5,
matters is if you have more than $250,000 in an account.
Yeah. And is it true that FDIC, that if a bank were to go out, that what's the process?
Okay. Well, I can tell you firsthand. The banks go out of business.
Yep.
And they send up to 250,000 to people who had accounts. Period. You're already, the FDIC goes in. You don't have, they go in and do it. They go in and take over the bank, and they do it.
Right.
They appoint a receiver, and they go in, or I think it's one of their officers, but sometimes, no, actually, it's both, I think. So they sit in the bank, and they divvy up all the assets, and then insure all the people they have to insure after the assets are divvied.
Okay.
But are you really thinking they're going to fail?
No, I just... I have money in banks that have really great ratings, and I don't look at that except for now. The only time I looked at it, and I looked at this one, and it has a 3, not a 5, not a 4.5, and all this. And I looked at more than one, website, and I just thought, is there a big difference? What's the deal if it's FDIC that cares? Because it's a great rate?
With this economy, all I can say is, banks can fail. Okay, I got stung when a bank failed. I lost tons of money, because the bank failed. I did.
Right.
And I was only insured for $250.
Right.
Okay.
No, I would always make sure that was the case.
But this was, but I didn't even think about it. I was thinking, hey, I'm fat and happy. This was in the days of real estate and all that, and then the recession comes and banks start closing. So really, what difference does it make if you have under 250,000? It doesn't.
Right.
I don't care what the bank is rated.
Yeah, that's my question.
Well, I don't, but that's up to you. But I wouldn't have more than the limit.
No, of course not.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's what I wanted to know.
Okay, and that's the way you do it. 303-713-TALK. You leave it down. Oh, by the way, John, hold on. Did you find a true CD? Did you find it?
Yeah. I called, and they do until the end of December in a money market, liquid. You can write checks off of it,
and they pay
$2.35 if it's 50,000 or more.
I'm gonna. Who wouldn't do one? Who wouldn't do one of those?
Sunflower Bank, exactly.
Is it all online?
No, there's Sunflower Banks around.
I mean, Mark, that's an incredible rate for a money market
compared to any other bank I know of right now.
And it's only until the end of December.
Thank you for telling me. Do I get a toaster?
Maybe.
Boy, you remember those days?
Good rate.
Do you remember the ones that were giving away shotguns? Do you remember that?
No, a shotgun?
There were banks giving away shotguns. Look it up. It was a while ago, but boy, did that stir a lot of you-know-what. Okay, Jacob. Sorry for the wait, Jacob. What is happening?
It's all right. I would like to say, first of all, the guy that was with City Lock, did he sound like Lou Ferrigno to you guys?
No, I know what you mean. No, Lou Ferrigno, I know what you mean. But he's to me, Jeff just sounds like a New Yorker.
Oh, okay, so that's probably it. That I'm not used to hearing New Yorkers then.
No, Lou Ferrigno, what you're hearing with him is a hearing impediment, and the way he pronounces his words.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, did you know? Did you know? I don't know if he's completely deaf, but I know that's why he talks the way he does. When you can't hear your voice, it is shocking how soon you start losing the ability to articulate and to and you really, the pronunciations get off because you don't have that feedback of hearing.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, what's going on with your neighbors?
Well, it's actually the mother-in-law's neighbor, the ones that are right behind us. They don't keep up their yard or anything. They got weeds growing like as high as the fence sometimes.
What municipality is it, sir?
You mean like what
city?
District or
yeah.
It would be Denver, but it's Adams County unincorporated, I guess.
If it's unincorporated, that's a problem. But usually cities are on top of it because they get to do it charge back the property, and literally foreclose if they don't pay it. So, but I don't know about unincorporated. Suzanne.
Jacob, why are you talking about the weeds when there's a rat problem from it?
Yeah, that was the first thing. Sorry.
What rat problem?
Actually, rats. The weeds are so high sometimes that, but like right now, there's rats coming underneath the fence, and that's the problem right now.
Okay, who did you call at Adams County?
We haven't contacted anybody. We just wanted to know what do you think we should do.
So you're not literally in a city?
No.
Okay. I would start with Adams County Health Department. I would then go to zoning. I don't know if anyone will take responsibility. You might have to take private action. Okay.
What would you consider private action? Like poisoning? Because I can't do that. Because
no. I'm going to tell you. Hold on. 303-713-8255. We got a lot more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Stick around.
10 most brutal fights.
Now they pull them off and they start beating these guys up.
What's going on, bro? I want to see it. I love fights this fucking. Do you know what I love?
I think he broke that guy's arm.
No, I don't want real fights. Hold on. What is real fights? What I like is when a bully or when somebody gets let me see it.
Brutal.
When somebody gets their comeuppance, that's what I like. When somebody gets their.
But they came and broke them up, and then they started beating up the guy.
Tell me what's going on.
Watch what he
set the scene.
Hold on. Watch this show.
Is this square KO?
He fucking.
So they're breaking them up.
Look who's fighting.
Watch what he's doing to this guy. Watch this.
Little ground and pound.
Fuck, dude, he was fucking killing.
So there's a fight, right? And then some strangers come to break it up.
I don't know.
See, I hate fighting. When I said
Dude,
I love it,
he just pounds this guy's fucking face for like 10 minutes.
This is like real violence.
He pulls his hands apart and just beats
him. Watch MMA's. MMA's worse than this.
But why do they?
Fuck, I don't know, because his head's on cement, bro.
This is wrong. This guy should be arrested.
I think this.
And who's filming it?
Some guy in a building.
Way high. Yeah.
Look at him.
No, that's wrong.
He's not stopping. I didn't see the part where the other guy showed up. Does that happen right here?
It's right after a while, and then they break. That's
why did he break his fucking arm?
I think he did break his arm.
Somebody should break this up. Oh no! Somebody has to break this up.
They got two guys do come and break it up.
Well, watch what happens.
Yeah, that's what they said.
I'm glad I didn't go break it up. Fuck.
Here we go.
At that point, the victim is in shock. You know that.
He wants to fucking kill him.
So they pull him off.
No, this is wrong.
Now the guy on the bottom wants to go after him.
Well, he wants revenge.
Yeah, but now look at his
arm.
Watch it. Here, look at him. Look, he takes that arm. Look, he takes that arm. Does that?
No.
He just broke it. I think.
Why would you hurt the guy that's already beat? No! He's already beat.
This guy's. Look, these two came in and are now beating the shit out of those two.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a single person.
Oh no! Why would you kick him in the face?
Because he was there.
Oh no! He knocked him out. That was wrong.
I was punishing myself.
Yeah, I think he knocked him out.
It was really a friend of mine.
I think he hits him again.
Oh!
Boom!
Okay,
Jesus, they're watching too much TV.
The idea of going.
I'm surprised they.
No, he probably saying, you know what, you stop it, leave him alone.
Enjoy it anyway.
That was only number 5. The next one's got to be more brutal.
No. Listen, the ones that I like seeing, I don't like seeing real violence. This is what I like. Do you ever see old men that get mad at each other? You gotta see it.
Oh yeah, it's a riot.
This product. Now these guys are like professional.
Fuck no, they're not.
There's no question you need omega-3s, but which form should you take? Fish oil or krill oil?
They got the old wife beaters on.
Absolutely.
Where are you watching?
They do have the wife beaters on.
Where are you watching these?
It's a YouTube.
That was a terrible expression. Why would YouTube allow this? They should take it off. They really should.
Is this YouTube?
Look at this little guy. I bet he gets his ass kicked.
Nope.
You think he's got it?
Let's put money on it.
I think the little guy's going to get his ass beat.
There's a beating in one of the YouTubes in Europe. Where
look at him. They're like.
A bouncer throws 2 guys down.
He's got the fisticuffs.
That little guy was tough.
I think the little guy's going to get his ass kicked. No, I think he's a mouthy little guy.
1-800-361-1841.
He wants no trouble.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he is.
He'll come back. No, he's come back. He's gonna get cold cop right now. Here it comes.
The lady's gonna, he's gonna hit the lady.
Oh, no.
Better not.
That'd be fucked up.
Look how he did that.
Lucky. Caring for my brother.
Okay, now
Here we go. I think the guy in the red is like,
like my arms and legs. So I'll be here.
well.
I'll be tired.
Oh, no.
Oh! Look, he's going to get this. No, you're right.
He's a wrestler.
Look at him. He knocked this guy out.
He did. He knocked him fucking out.
Now that guy knew what the fuck he was doing. Didn't I tell you? Look at him. He's cold. Done.
Something broke, too, you would think.
Look, I mean, he, oh my God. That guy knew what he was doing. I like when bullies get it. This is too violent. Honest to goodness.
That guy looked like a rooster.
I look like a rooster. You see this one? He said.
Did you see that?
All this kicking shit. That used to be like, we used to
Oh! Kaboom!
Out. Wait. Oh. Now you're going to have me looking at
this is good Christmas.
He's crazy.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Frank Duran, the real estate man. When I say that, what do you guys think? FrankDuranTheRealEstateMan.com. 303-920-1622. You think great person, fun, happy, right? Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. 303-920-1622. One of the best real estate brokers in the nation and the best negotiator you'll find. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Now, Jacob, here's the deal.
Yeah.
All right. You have a problem, and for those joining us, sum it up. You got stuff coming, rats and all this crap from your neighbors. But is it from the one neighbor that you can you pinpoint it?
Yeah, I would put 100% on that.
Then, are other neighbors affected by it?
Yes, we got the neighbors next to us that are affected by it also.
How do they feel about it?
They're not very happy about it at all either.
Have you discussed it? Have you gone to the offending neighbor and said, listen, you must take care of your property?
No, we have not. We have not.
Are there extenuating circumstances? Is she old? Is he old? Anything going on there, or you do not know?
No, as far as I know, it's just a family and they're on low income.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Do they own or rent?
I believe it's like Section 8, so they rent.
Okay. Here's what I would do. Having said all of that, what I would do first is talk directly to them first. I would go over and say, look, can you clean up the property? How about me and the neighbor, we help you, and then you keep it that way. Do you think we can do that? Let's clean it up. We got too many rats and too many things. Do you think, have you ever talked to them before, would they be offended? Are they nasty? What are they?
I don't think we've really had to deal with them.
All right, I would deal with them. That's the first thing. Direct contact in an approachable way, offering to help if you and your neighbor is inclined to do it, or if you belong to a church and you do acts or deeds, you might want to get together that or a Boy Scout troop. I'm serious now. Help and say, look, if we can clean this up, maybe you can keep it that way. That's the first thing. If it falls on deaf ears, I would then contact the property owner. And you get the records at the tax assessor's office, or we can help you if it comes to that. You contact the owner and say, look, this house needs to be cleaned up. And before we take official action as neighbors, we just want to see if you can get a plan going. All right, that's the second thing. If that falls on deaf ears or it's deficient what they do, then you go to Section 8. And you say to Section 8, this is terrible, deplorable, violation of everything, and you go to the Section 8 housing for that area. They will enforce certain standards. They'll make the landlord fix it for the tenants. Okay, those three things ought to get action. The fourth thing, of course, Adams County, because you're an unincorporated. Let me know how each step goes, and we'll help you. 303-713-TALK. Greg says he's another victim of stem cell fraud. Now, I imagine since I've been talking about this, and I said every single provider that uses, every one of them that uses amniotic fluid or cord blood they're ripping you off. That you're not getting living stem cells if they're shipped in. And there are a lot of people, and we are adding them to a list, and I want to get something done. Now, I'm looking at other various options. Something called the joinder lawsuit, where if people have similar things, they get together. It's not a class action. A class action is even bigger than that. Well, I'm looking at the FTC. I'm looking at the FDA. We're looking at all kinds of options. So, Greg, where do you fit in this? When did you have this fake treatment?
Well, this wasn't for me. It was for my grandson.
When did your grandson have it?
2 years ago.
Where?
He's in California. There's just some big. What it is my grandson, I've called you before, was drowned in the swimming pool, was revived with severe brain injury and cerebral palsy. And this stem cell clinic purports that stem cells can rejuvenate destroyed brain cells. So she spent about 10 grand to have stem cell treatment, and there's no proof of that at all, that it can regenerate destroyed brain cells.
How do you know it wasn't true living stem cells? What did they do?
Well, I don't know that it wasn't true living stem cells.
Well, did they extract the true living stem cells? Did they extract them from him?
Yes.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Okay, that's different. They did not use amniotic fluid that was shipped in, or they did not use cord blood.
Right.
Okay.
But it was just basically the assertion and the claim that you can just rejuvenate destroyed brain cells.
Well, I don't know where they put that claim. I don't know if they guaranteed. I don't know what you signed. But here's the deal.
Well,
at least it was stem. It's possible. Why don't we hold on? Here's what I'm getting at. There are conditions even with real stem cells that have to be met. So hold on. And let's figure out the road to go. Okay? I'll give you the steps. 303-713-TALK. More coming right up. Two things happen when you get a...
This is where you get hooked on that.
Okay, Mark, look at that old man fighting. It'll make you laugh your ass off. What is this one?
Fucking beatdown, man.
Multiple beatdowns.
See, I don't like...
Look at all that weight that dude ain't getting.
I don't mind bullies getting beat, but why? Is this like somebody who deserved it?
He was mouthing off to him.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, that's too... Stop! Why doesn't this guy stop it? Come on, man.
Teaching him a lesson.
How can people be so cruel?
He's tuning it up.
How can people be so cruel? No, really, come on, man.
Run over.
Come on, you can't be that cruel. That needs to be arrested.
He beat the shit out of that dude. Look at him, he's all fucked and
he probably has permanent brain damage.
People aren't helping.
What is that guy backing up doing, man?
That's just wrong.
Best knockouts of the month.
You know what? Fuck this. You gotta go to Bullies or go to...
Hey, type in old men fighting.
No, that'll... he's hooked.
He is hooked.
Girl in the middle.
See, you should be watching these right before we go serve someone.
See, when two tough guys like this, they're both fucking morons, so who cares?
Bam. Oh! Jesus. Well, now, and then now she's going to go, now she knocks him out.
When you knock somebody out, you really have to hit hard to do that. I'm serious.
Oh, fuck yeah, you do.
Clear a procedural hurdle in the U.S. Senate.
President Trump, he will own the shutdown.
That's what
Oh, here's another beatdown.
What? Here's what I want to know.
Oh!
You know what? Why does YouTube put these on here? No, why does YouTube do this, Mark? And I'm seriously... Why take off your shirt?
These, you can tell the Russians.
But can I say something? Why does...
Yeah, they look funny. What kind of camera was this?
No, it's just compression. It was bad.
They look like two midgets.
Hit him! Look at he's moving his head. You can't hit him. He's moving his head.
Why does you...
You know he did it. Right over the left, man. Left jab came
Why
in
does
and you're done.
YouTube do this? And everything is caught on film.
I'm addicted to these knockouts
but
now,
Mark,
man.
do you think YouTube should put these up?
Yeah, fuck yeah, this is great.
Be truthful.
I mean, that's
got him in the rib.
If he left his shirt on, he would have wiped up the blood with it.
He was the guy that started it, man.
Yeah.
He pulled his shirt off like he was going to kick his ass.
On Thanksgiving.
man.
Well, once a guy's
Are they
down,
going to kick him while he's down?
Once
What are
a
they
guy's
going to do?
down, you shouldn't beat the shit out of people. Come on, you shouldn't do it. Do you have it in you to beat someone like that?
You should type in old man.
I mean, okay, if somebody
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
No, if somebody's threatening you, you knock them out, you don't go and beat
The
them.
internet sucks in there. There it is. Look at these old guys.
The old guys will make you
Oh, there he is.
No, you'll laugh.
Is it a
your
real
ass
one?
Oh, yeah, you'll laugh your ass off.
Look at here. It's just not
Here's the ones I like, guys. Here are the ones I like, where they do this, and nothing ever hits. And you gotta see them. You gotta see them.
Here's the guy who hit. Oh, now he's got him. Now he's going to try to stop him. He can't even get his foot up there.
Oh!
There goes the
Hey, that's the other down. Yeah!
They're all fucking. That's the Bullies.
So you want to look at old guys. That'll make you laugh.
Oh, you got him.
Fisticuffs, man.
Whoa! Whoa!
Right, clock them. Fucking probably my age.
Oh, no, they're older.
I think you'd handle all three of those guys, man. Where did the other guy go?
Yeah, another guy like, I'm not having anything to do with
It
these.
seems I fell too many times. Not a really slow.
Oh, there was the other guy
Oh, it's
there.
real slow.
Hey, did you ever see where somebody picked on somebody and they didn't know they were a karate expert? You
Yeah,
ought to
and he
fucking
dropped them. Oh, yeah.
Smart.
He's still going.
Looking karate expert gets
I
mugged.
bet you they're breathing hard, boy. That fighting takes a lot out of you.
Sandwiches and bakery treats.
Oh, it's hard.
That everyone will love.
Miles. Oh, that guy. Oh, my God. That guy was running around. Look, he's like,
No, he's fighting it up.
look at him, look at him.
You got that? You have that video of Miles knocking that kid out?
Ooh, you guys saved it?
It wasn't from the school. This kid was like twice. You know, Miles, is a small dude, man.
Was it in a tournament?
Yeah, he fucking knocked him out, man. Put his head through the fucking drywall.
Oh, wait, I thought you said...
Oh, this is like in a basement and stuff?
They were in a basement.
They're just
Why
screwing
did they do
around.
it?
They're screwing around, right?
Yeah, no, they were boxing.
Right, but they were screwing around, right? They weren't mad at each other.
Yeah,
No,
that's
they
not
were
fair.
literally boxing.
But that's
Like,
not
yeah.
fair. Fuck. I mean, come on, Mark.
But they weren't.
Did Miles happen to tell him he had a lot of training? That's not fair.
Well, I don't know.
But
The kid thought he was going to knock Miles out.
they weren't mad at each other.
But that's
They
not
just like
sneaky.
that.
Fucking
That's sneaky.
He hits him so hard though, his fucking head to his
Use your retirement portfolio.
Do you have that video of Miles knocking that kid out?
8604. That's 720.
That was going around.
But no, the kid was going up.
Your money.
They were laughing. Oh, Miles, look how skinny he barely weighs 80 pounds. Oh man,
That was going around Cherry Creek. They were doing that fighting at
Every Saturday,
like a fight club.
right here on Talk Radio 630 KHAP. The Consumers Real Estate Show, Saturday mornings at 8 on 630
This
KHAP.
kid.
Sit down.
And since we'll soon be closing.
Yeah, it's time to sit down, dude.
Most of us
He's already shaking. What is that, a bus or a train?
Train. That's where one of our great sponsors, Jenkins Wealth Management Group, can help. We've seen a lot of changes in the
Dude,
financial
I thought about it.
Oh, this is one where the guy, the karate expert, he's like, yeah, and then, bam, he's down.
Yeah, one hit.
That's the part.
I tell you, nowadays there's so many of those MMA clubs out there.
This guy was, he's doing all, he did all the stretches.
You don't know
and
what guy
exercises.
is,
But watch what happens.
And they're violent.
Oh, God. And they train, they got wind, they know how to do it, they can bust your arm like,
or go online to JenkinsWealth.com.
This is a paid advertisement. Jenkins Wealth Management Group is a financial...
Is this the same guy? So yeah.
Products and services,
You can go after
such as
30.
insurance and annuities.
But really and truly, if this guy knows his shit, he's not going to don't get angry.
Yeah. You have to condition yourself to hit that hard. You hit people's faces, that hurts you, man. It tears you. You have to break it.
break your nose, like break your wrist.
I felt it.
Did you really?
I know, it's like...
I did that. I was on MMA. When MMA hit, I was doing that stuff.
And I,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you were on that stuff, right? Is that big in Colombia?
No, that was Brazil. So when the Gracies came, I belonged to a dojo that they came training.
They were crazy. They looked like nobody.
They started MMA. They did.
Hey! Tom Martino here. This hour brought to you by Ideal Home Loans. For your next Ideal Home Loan, I am a consumer advocate where I fight for you. I fight with you. I fight against you depending on where you stand. You know what? We don't pretend to be journalists here. We are objective.
when we are gathering facts. In fact, we play devil's advocate a bit, and what we do is we just question and gather, then we make a decision. Can we help or not? And then we go to work for you. Seriously, as we look back on this year, the number one complaint, what do you think? Home improvements. Number 2, used cars with over 100,000 miles on them, specifically. And then stem cells, as far as the impact of money. Ideal Home Loans can give you an interest rate guarantee, so if you refinance or buy, you will get a free refinance if rates go down. You can call them for details. It's a guarantee. They can also tweak your credit, really, to get you better rates, legally and ethically. They'll tell you how to do that. And then also, you have all kinds of things like pick your own term loan, where you can pick whatever term you want. You don't have to go back to 30 to get a low rate. 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. All right, so let's talk. Greg says stem cell fraud. His grandson went. His grandson, it's a little different in this one. In this one, Greg is saying they promised to do things they can't do. So it seems like they extracted stem cells from him, the grandson, so they didn't have them shipped in. So I want to go over with Greg. First, I want to go over what constitutes legit stem cell therapy. In order to have living stem cell therapy under current law, you have to extract at the time of injection. You can't condense them enough to keep them alive to ship, and you can't condense them enough to keep them alive for days. So you have to extract and do it at the same time or within however many hours. Now, here's the deal. Not only is extraction at the point of delivery necessary, you also must do guided injections. Needles without guidance, they're useless because you have to get that close. Systemic stem cells don't work, and neither do general joint injections. So you have to do it specifically, and you have to do it the right way. Now, the other thing is when you do stem cell therapy, there are never guarantees by legit providers. So, Greg, let's just talk about this. You said they extracted stem cells. Did they use guidance when they did the injections?
I can't answer that. Right. I'm not sure the details.
But you're upset because you feel they led them on.
Exactly. And a lot of people, and there's like a Facebook group for these type of people.
They're all over the place. These phonies are all over the place. But you know what? There's a difference between a phony and someone saying, well, it didn't work. I mean, even Centeno Schultz, who are the premier providers, he literally was the first one to do stem cell therapy in a clinical setting. And even he says it's not going to work all the time. And, you can't go to him and say, hey, you cheated us. But what he won't do is say, oh, yes, we can grow brain cells,
That was my issue. That was my big issue. And at one point, I called him to try and get something out of them to say, are you claiming that you can do that? And they of course, precluded it with not everything works every time.
Okay, well, listen.
And we don't guarantee any results.
Then how do you feel that it's fraudulent?
Because they said there has been marked improvement of brain cell restoration from stem cell treatment.
And you can disprove that statement?
I never found anything to support it.
Okay. I don't think you have a case.
I don't think I have a case.
Yeah.
I just want to.
I mean, I'm not giving you a legal opinion. I'm just saying this is just a case of exaggerated BS. However, you could have a case if you could prove that there was fraud in the inducement, meaning they lied to you to get the treatment, or your grandson, that they lied to the family, and that's the only reason the family did it. And I would do it in small claims court. I would just go after him anyway. I would just go after him for $7,500, and I'd say, here's the deal. They lied to us. And then I'd gather emails and just see what a judge says. Is this place still in business?
Yes. They're very well known, actually.
What's the name?
I don't have it right here. It's in my emails.
Well, get that information. I think I think small claims court would be a pain in the ass for them. And you should do it. Gary?
Yes, Tom. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on with your 95-year-old mom?
Yeah, she was in the post office and tripped over a vacuum cleaner power cord, broke her knee, caught most of the fall with her face, and they made the statement while they were there that they would take care of her medical bills. Well, now we're talking about having her go to, longer-term care at the tune of about $4,000 a month.
Yeah, but Gary, there's a certain
the post office.
No, probably not. It's a federal agency. It's a government agency. Probably not. And that I don't know though. And again, this is not legal information, but in general, municipalities are immune.
Yeah.
And they're a municipality, but they might have insurance. Here's the other thing: even if it was a private party, you understand that damages are calculated on what it resulted in. If you're 95, and she has to go to assisted living, you can't attribute all of that to that one fall.
Right.
Okay, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you can't. However, you do get victims as you find them. There's a Latin term for it. You take them as you get them. In other words, it's the eggshell, what's called the eggshell theory or eggshell. Here's how it goes: if you have a condition where your head is vulnerable, and any blow to your head can be severe damage to your brain because it's brittle, and you're in a car accident, you can't use as a defense, well, come on. Under normal circumstances, a person wouldn't even be injured. I think the eggshell theory, I think it's BS, and I think people shouldn't be blamed if they're in a minor fender bender with someone who happens to be injured already. But the law has ruled in the past that it doesn't matter what condition the victim's in. If you hurt someone, you deserve what comes with it. So you could use some of that for your 95-year-old mom, but it doesn't get ridiculous. In other words, people can make, well, this happened and then that happened, therefore you have to take care of my mom for the rest of her life. It's just not going to happen over tripping over an electrical cord, I don't think.
Right.
But I don't think you will find anyone at all to even touch the case because of it. Because there's not a lot of money for 95-year-old victims. It's just the way it is. So again, you heard me talk about small claims court. I don't think you can even sue, though. Mark, in small claims court, you can't sue a municipality, can you?
No, you got to ask, generally speaking, I think you have to ask permission to sue a municipality. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I think it's just, one of those things. But she has Social Security, right?
Oh, yeah.
Does Medicare work?
Well, she's got Kaiser. I don't know what that means, if that's a supplemental for her.
It might be. I think she has, what is that called, where you let someone take over your Social Security and they provide everything, and the premiums go to them, I think. Listen, here's the deal. What are you trying to accomplish? Let's go at it that way.
I just want her to be able to get the care that she needs.
Okay. Was she living alone, totally on her own?
She's lived by herself for 20 years. She wants to go home, but even the rehab, physical therapy, occupational therapy is saying, they don't, and they're going to do surgery on her knee. So this is probably, at least with the good health, she has good health at 95. I mean, she's not on any medication, no oxygen, but
yeah.
It's going to be a 6 month to a year recovery, and that in long term or in
yeah, you're not going to get them to pay for that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can ask them. Ask them.
Yeah.
I would like to ask Fuller, if he's around, a question on this. So you can listen, Gary. Brian, you bring up a good point here, something I've never been asked before, Brian. So you're eligible for lunch because whenever people ask something that's never been asked before, I offer them lunch. So what is it? Ask your question.
Hey, Tom, thanks. I appreciate that. And I'm actually in Arkansas, so it might be a little bit difficult for me to get up there for lunch. But
come on up, man. Come on. Or I'll come down and get you. Okay, go ahead.
Road trip. Hey, Wednesday you talked about credit freezes, and I have my credit frozen and my wife's credit frozen. But what about minors? When do credit reports actually get created for somebody? I got a 17-year-old.
That's a really good question. It really is. I think credit reports are created at your first instance of credit. I think. Do you have something to say, Jeff?
Well, in the cases of, there's cases where people are using identity theft where they're using the identity of minors and creating credit.
Yeah, so then it's created. But it's created. I don't see any other way a credit file could be created. I don't see any other way.
So is there any way to put a freeze on anything so that it couldn't be used, for illegal transactions like that?
Okay. In other words, how do you prevent someone from using your kid's identity to establish an ID, and you do it ahead of time? Very good question. Like, for example, my kid, here's his name, and if anyone tries, I don't know, with his social number. Actually, that would be, you know what, that's a brilliant idea, and I'll tell you why. If automatically children who get issued Social Security numbers, if they automatically were entered into this, where they could not get credit until the year of their 18th birthday, and any attempts to get credit for them beforehand would be triggered. What a brilliant idea. It's something that the credit reporting agencies would have to do.
Also, though, what if my daughter's about to graduate high school? Would that, if she has a frozen credit report, would that impact anything with college applications, or do they do any credit searches that way as well?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think I don't think credit enters into college entrance. But even if it did, what you're saying is put a credit freeze on a kid. But don't you agree that it would be wonderful if all kids, they know the existence of a child because you get a social. As soon as a kid gets a social and his age is entered, the computer keeps track of that till 18, and no credit will be issued. It will automatically come back. So if somebody used John Smith or Joey Smith, that's a little boy name, Joey Smith, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 social or whatever it is, then it comes back ineligible. And then it's triggered. Like, no one could use a minor anymore. I think it's brilliant. In fact, how would we get that instituted? We have the technology right now to do it, that every kid put in there. And here's another thing, Brian. If it's not instituted, it would be something for someone to institute, where parents can call and we keep track. I don't know. We got to figure this out. I love the idea. I love it. What a good idea.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
But I don't think there's anything like it. If you find out more, please call us. And what is your connection to Colorado, if any?
You.
Oh, so did you stumble across us?
I've listened to you for years, Tom, back when you were in WABC. And I lost track of your shows about 4 years ago.
So were you living in New York?
No, actually I was living in Houston. And
I was on KTRH in Houston.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we had a great show there. Yep. Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you still listening. If you ever get close, Suzanne, if he ever gets close to Colorado, you tell him we want to see him here in the studio. He listened to me when I was on WABC in New York and KTRH in Houston, and yep, I was almost famous, as they say. 303-713-8255. Who do I love? You know what? I love people that do great jobs. And that's one of the things I dedicate myself to doing, is promoting people who do great jobs. And that's why I really want you to tell me that people are doing great jobs. And when they're not, I want you to tell me they're not. Genesis Total Exteriors, we get great reviews about Genesis Total Exteriors. And they also do bathrooms and kitchens and baths. I just said that. Cellars, basements. Does anyone even use that term cellar anymore? But Mark is a great guy, and you will love the way they do business. Home improvements was the #1, I told you that, the #1 complaint. And with GenesisTotalExteriors.com, you don't have to worry.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
It's a bit of a busier lunch hour.
They're auto-playing now. They just one loads up after another.
I know, they're crazy, man.
What are we talking about?
Just those fights.
Oh my God! You know what? I got hooked on YouTube, not just fighting. I looked up something, and then that over on the side, I went, "Oh shit!" And then, "Oh shit!" I spend an hour and a half, and I can just do it. I can do it.
You just sit there. Yeah.
You know what? Some of it is quality.
One of them that got me was car wrecks.
Here's
The ones recorded. And they have like dash cams and stuff. This is guy in traffic, and the tractor trailer comes and stops traffic.
I planned yesterday.
Yeah.
Where? You'll see, just when automatic Excel spreadsheet. No, I just put the numbers there for you. The next thing is, just trust.
That's only for endorsement. That's not.
But I use it. I think
just trust me on this. We don't include these. I will talk to you about those later and fix that.
But
I don't want to talk about it
What are
here.
they? At a restaurant.
I don't want to talk about it
They don't even talk anymore.
here. So,
No, but just, I don't even know what I'm looking at. That's
so it was actual. Let me show you. So for some reason,
I'll tell you what I watched one time. I'll never anything like that again. I watched that one guy get beheaded. That very first contractor back.
That one dude did. That was on video, and I never got to see it. And
I watched that, and I would never watch anything like that again. It was so disturbing.
They got him one.
He was screaming, right? They cut him, and he
screamed all the gurgling and
They put the other one they did is they put this guy getting burned alive in a cage. Too. I couldn't watch it, man. I just simply after that.
This is it. This is it. Have you ever seen this one?
What is it? An accident?
This will.
I have seen
truck
this.
that loses control in front of the tractor trailer. It disintegrates the truck.
Oh my gosh! You know what? You guys are hooked.
This vehicle right here.
My kids do this. My kids go on YouTube. Do you know what ones they love?
Oh!
What?
God, there was nothing.
Disintegrated.
He had
It
to
disintegrated. He had to have died. It disintegrated the SUV.
That's people don't realize.
And they had the chances of having that on film. He basically
Can I see it, guys? Can I see it?
Oh, dude, wait till you.
Hey,
the guy's
guys,
totally
my
right.
kids will get on here, and I swear.
Oh yeah, I've seen this one.
Have you ever seen something?
What is it? I just see it.
Okay,
where is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God in heaven! Oh my!
Disintegrated him. Disintegrated the car.
I can't think of his phone.
The trailer went over the vehicle. It's gone.
Oh my God!
It's insane, man.
Don't you guys get a visceral feeling inside? Like,
That's
doesn't
the reality of driving.
What is it called?
It is, you know what? It really is.
You really.
Hi,
have
Tom
no clue.
Martino here, 303-713-8255. Okay. It is really the end of the year, folks. So if you want to do anything fancy, it's car day. Call us. Don't buy a car without calling us. Century RV is another example of a great vehicle. CenturyRV.com. If you like RVs, Mark, do you regret a day that you bought an RV?
No.
Do you love it?
Love it.
And you bought it from Century.
Sure did.
It's the real deal. CenturyRV.com, 303-453-1111, internet pricing. And they also have service. That's important on the north location, 119 and I-25. And then also out west, just north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims, next to Woodley's, they have an indoor showroom. Today is car day. We haven't had many car calls, but I have some car questions. And we had one yesterday about insurance. Can you insure somebody else's car if you don't own it? And if it's somebody else's? Let's call Compass.
I want to know the answer to that.
And I'll give the scenario. We won't repeat it again and again, so hold on for that. All right, so Jeff Vick, Kimmer Transmission. What is, I'm not talking about a person, I'm talking about a situation, the biggest pain in the ass customer you've ever encountered or you don't want to encounter? What's the biggest pain in the ass in the auto industry? I'll tell you, for example, a guy with 180,000 miles who comes to you for a tune-up and brings his own spark plugs. I'm looking for an example like that. Has anything happened, the biggest pain in the ass you can ever recall?
It's generally the people who have, you know, an upper-end car, and it's going to come with upper-end pricing that goes with what those repairs are.
You don't necessarily, you don't price by address or price by brand.
No, it's whatever it costs, it costs. You know, if you go and buy a Mercedes, the parts are going to be different for that than they are for your little Toyota Celica. So a lot of times you get into the issue where, you know, you've got this $90,000 car and you don't understand why it's going to be $4,000 to put the transmission in there. Well, that car price came with all those parts that took to get it there.
I get it. I get it. So, what is the pain in the ass? Just a higher price car?
Yeah, it's just trying to, I mean, for me, a lot of it is swallowing it myself because I have a hard time knowing, you know, I know what the technology is and I know the quality of it.
Higher-end cars bring more problem customers?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, especially when you're the ones that you call the wannabes.
Yeah.
You know, they've got them second choice down the road. So you got the Audi coming in with 90,000 miles on it. I mean, don't get me wrong. These Audis and Mercedes and whatnot, these things are great for the first 50, 60, possibly 70,000 miles. After that, that's when all the problems start up.
Okay. Those are posers or wannabes. Do you think anyone prices by address? Anyone? And I mean in any service anywhere, not just auto. Do you think that happens, Mark?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think doing a repair in Cherry Hills in a stone mansion would be different than a Highlands Ranch middle-of-the-road home or Aurora home?
Absolutely. I bet
for the same work.
I bet if an HVAC company, I'm not saying all of them by any means, but walked into a $3 million house compared to a $400,000 house, I bet the pricing would be higher.
Well, if they get...
No, I mean the same exact thing, though. For the same thing. Say the same water heater.
Well, that wouldn't happen with George. That wouldn't happen at
I'm not saying people on the referral list.
No, I'm serious.
I think it happens all the time.
Because they have a book price. In fact, because their book price, they look out the overhead and they look at everything. Because of that, some of the lower ends are higher and some of the higher ends are lower, but it really can sting sometimes because if you do truly book pricing, what you're doing, folks, is you're considering, let's say that your vans are busy 80% of the time. That 20% you're not driving around and doing work, you still have to pay those bills in that overhead. So you have to aggregate expenses over all your jobs. And then they literally, all companies should do this, by the way. It's not magic. You just don't eat that. You expense it, and you try to do it in a fair way.
I think people have the perception, if people have a lot of money, that they're going to charge more. I think that's true, man.
Alaramas, I want to ask you about the biggest pain in the ass situation you can or did encounter coming back, okay? Jeremy from Compass Insurance. Jeremy,
hey,
here's the scenario. I have a house and a car, and it's insured by ABC. And me and my wife have ABC insurance.
Okay.
And maybe I have a child, and my child is on ABC insurance, and we have 2 cars. And let's say now, Mark's son says, you know what? I'm tired of living at home. I want to live, and he's 18. I want to live with Tom. I said, okay, Miles, I have a spare room. And Miles comes over to live with me. Okay, now, the first question, does he have to be put on my household insurance?
Yeah, most companies would want you to list Miles on your policy.
Even if he doesn't drive my cars?
You could potentially exclude him, officially exclude him.
But some companies won't. Some companies won't allow that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, at that point, it kind of gets company.
So anybody living with you with a license must be named, in most cases, must be named on your account, right?
With most companies, correct.
Now I have a little ringer, or a little wrench to throw into the works. Here it is. Miles has his own car. And I say, you know what, Miles? I'm going to save you some money and put you under my family policy as an added car, an added driver, because it's going to be less than if you did it individually. Can I do that even though he owns his own car and he literally, he's not related to me, he just comes to live with me? Can I put his car and full coverage under my policy under the group?
Again, it's kind of company specific, but most companies are going to require that the named insured, so let's say you're the named insured, that you're on the title of the vehicle.
So
some companies aren't going to mind that because they'd prefer that over just not knowing the scenario of what's going on.
So if Miles lives with me and he has a car, just to save him money, I can put it on my plan if the company allows it, but most of the time you're saying the company won't allow it.
Most of the time they won't if you're not also titled on the vehicle.
Okay, I have to be an owner, in other words. Is that because of the insurable interest?
Exactly. Yeah, you as the owner of the policy do not have an insurable interest in Miles' vehicle.
Did you have a specific alteration to that, Mark, or did I cover it when we were discussing it?
No, you nailed it. That's perfect.
Okay, so, however, what people don't... What if you have... you're renting out a room? Do you have to insure that guy on your household?
See, that's where it's such a gray area.
Yeah.
I mean, in a technical sense, you're supposed to list all the residents of the house on the policy. Now, that listing them could include excluding them. So here's a listed household member that I'm excluding from the policy. Again, it could get a little company specific.
Right, I understand. That's cool.
But that's kind of I mean, it's kind of a gray area with a lot of companies in what they want, or just a normal roommate scenario.
Well, you certainly answered my questions. Thank you very much. And, of course, Compass Insurance, they do free insurance checkups at 303-996-9000.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630.
You know what truly is the most pain in the ass customer? The internet mechanic.
How about the guy that shops internet pricing like for tires and says, listen, don't give me any bullshit, I know what the prices are.
No, I was the internet mechanic. I already looked up the code, I already know what the problem is. Really?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
We know two cents.
This seems to be a big problem with this year and model. Yeah, because you know what? Everybody else who has a same year model doesn't get on and say, hey, this didn't happen to me
I was
today.
actually going to take a picture of a car I pulled in this morning. I helped the guys bring it around. He had box, check engine light, in for diagnostics. He's got the CarQuest box with the gas cap. New gas cap. I opened it up. It's gone. What everybody thinks, the gas cap's going to fix my check engine light. It's so common. We see that all the time because they watch videos and they hear that. And gas caps do have a problem, but it's not so much.
Not that big?
Yeah.
Some cars are more.
When you get the check engine light that comes on right after you left the filling station, yeah, you didn't tighten it up.
Yeah. But when it hard codes constantly stays on, you know what it is.
Okay, I got one for you. It's happened twice. So, brand new RV. The only time if the check engine lights come on twice and I pull the code on it, both times it's just a misfire. Okay?
Misfire on startup?
My mind.
No. Both times it happened right after I had the propane filled up. Is there in the propane tank is close to the front of the engine, and I never I don't turn the RV off. So even when I'm having someone fill up the propane, it's running.
No, they don't like to do that.
This guy challenges the police.
But
they come up to me and says, "Don't you touch me, motherfucker!"
Could the propane gas do that?
Well, I would say it's not propane in the gas. More likely than not, if you have.
No, you wait a second. I'm going to take
you're probably sucking it into the air.
Yeah.
I do. I'm sorry. The vehicle is off. It is off.
Okay, but whatever.
Oh, they maced him and start beating the shit out of him, and he's not doing anything.
Is it cops?
In Poland. Well, I think it's Poland. Wait, hold on. They start beating him, and he's trying to get away. He's trying to get away. What? They're sticking him. They're beating him. And he's saying, leave me alone. He's delivering shit.
I would say the likelihood.
Or no, he's at a farmer's market.
Both times.
I would say the likelihood is you have contaminated air getting sucked into the intake.
From the
I'm surprised they don't pull out a gun. Why didn't they pull out a gun and shoot him? Now members of the public are getting involved to help the police. Why don't they let them?
It only happens once.
It's only happened twice. So
now everybody, come on, man.
I'll turn the vehicle on. By the time I get home, 5 miles down, the check engine light's on, and it's always just random misfire. But I don't feel anything. I don't even feel a misfire. Then I clear it. Never comes back until I filled up my propane again. So I think you're right. The intake pulled in the propane. Just created.
They cracked them across the
You literally brought in combustible air.
This guy's doing nothing, and they're beating the shit.
And it makes perfect sense.
You can clear your own codes.
Yeah, I got this thing called.
Right across the head.
I want to say it's called True Blue. It costs $100.
Right. Wise
It wasn't
member
cheap,
of the public. Okay,
but it plugs in. No, I'll take exactly.
Oh my God!
It wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap. It was $100.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there's some out there for $15.
Oh, that's
why the ones we got.
That's why he's doing this. He's the kung fu master.
So you can clear with your phone.
You guys. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, here I am. 303-713-TALK, 713-825. I said sorry because it took me a little longer. Not, maybe not. Hey, listen, folks. Isn't this week loose for a lot of you? I bet a lot of you didn't even come to work today. Shame. Shame. Let's talk to Jason. Jason, what's happening?
Hey, Tom. How's it going today, man?
Good, man. What's happening with you?
Hey, actually, I got two questions, two separate topics.
Go ahead.
First off, we're looking at, my girl and I were looking at getting probably a 2017, 2018 used Ford Explorer Sport.
Okay.
And our question is...
Guys, that vintage of Explorer, good or bad, would you buy one?
Me personally, no, I wouldn't buy one, but they're a decent vehicle.
Yeah, they are decent. That's what I'm asking. I mean, not okay. But the reason you wouldn't buy it has nothing to do with the quality.
No, it just doesn't fit my lifestyle.
They're really good vehicles. Al, what do you think about the vehicle? They're really good.
Just, all of them are all based on Tom. Did somebody take care of them?
But the Explorers themselves are good.
Yeah, they're not. They have plenty of things that they have issue with.
Plenty.
You can pick any car out there, and I can pick it apart with plenty of things.
What I'm getting at is this: it's not like buying a Range Rover or a Land Rover.
If you put it like that, absolutely,
it's better.
But they're close.
Oh, really? Come on.
It's not even.
Hold on, Al. It's not close. Come on. That wouldn't be fair. Would you really, truly put the Explorer problems and troubles at par with a Land Rover?
They have multiple things, Tom.
Okay.
But there again, you're asking, what's it subject to.
But here's the deal.
Yeah.
Under no circumstances is a Land Rover or a Range Rover a good vehicle. Whereas an Explorer can be.
We no longer service them.
Keep going, Jason. Keep going. What else?
Well, but mechanically speaking, in less than 20,000 miles with the previous owner that I don't know what they did to it, how much damage can they really...
In how many miles?
Mechanical components. Less than 20,000.
That's most of the damage can be done at that vintage.
Very easily.
That's most of it for the rest of its life.
Okay. I mean, if they've only gotten an oil change like once, but even like the transmission stuff, it's not servicing, or it's not serviced until...
It all comes down to get a pre-purchase inspection. How few miles it has on it, how great the paint is, all that stuff, none of it means anything. You get somebody like Norris or Rob to go out there and take a look at it. If you've got a mechanic that you work with on a regular basis that you trust, have them take a look at it. Until that's been done, it's just a car.
Here's what I want to ask. Do you have the service records?
Well, we haven't picked one up specifically. We've been kind of shopping around on the interwebs and kind of checking them out.
All right.
But specifically, no, because we're even looking at maybe bringing one in getting one hot-shotted in from out of state if it meets our...
Why a Ford Explorer?
The stuff that we want on it.
There are so many better ones. Why a Ford Explorer?
I don't know. I took her, and she drove the sport one that's got the twin turbo in it, and she liked the vroom vroom, and I'm a Ford guy. I've got a Fusion that I've never had any problems with, and I'm driving in an F-250 right now that I love, except when I'm driving on concrete doing more than...
You definitely want
an hour.
You definitely want low-mile turbo, but a lot of damage can be done in 20,000.
Tom, it's always what I tell everybody, like Jeff alluded to, get it checked. Don't buy it and then bring it to a shop. I cannot tell you how many people do that.
And that's the way you would do it if you had it come from out
And
of
they
state.
think because they get an inspection, they can go back to the deal and say, hey, you got all these problems with this car you just sold me. What does the WEO say?
Yeah.
Nothing.
So, anyway, that's it. You know what? Get a pre-purchase. Get a pre-purchase. But would you have another question?
Yes. Now, second question. So I've had, it was probably 3 years ago, I had Compass do an insurance checkup on me on the house.
It's time again.
And we switched at the time.
Excellent.
And I saved like $500 a year. It was great.
Cool.
Well, I got a call from them a couple weeks ago that my rates were going up, like I think $750.
Isn't that nice that they keep you informed like that?
Oh, it was great. So she went out and shopped some stuff around, and basically everybody in Denver skyjacked their rates.
Right.
And
in Colorado, or in
Colorado.
the front range, maybe.
I'm extremely annoyed because I listen to you all the time, Tom.
Yeah,
I remember 6-8 months ago, some guy had called in bragging about she had had 3 roofs put on in the last 5 years.
Right.
And I'm going, dude, I've lived in my house for 20 years, and I still have the same roof on. Which,
I know, but with
hailstorms.
insurance, we all get to share the losses.
Well, and I get that, but I'm also because I'm looking at getting a new roof and actually paying out of pocket instead of waiting for a hailstorm and praying that the insurance company is going to come bail me out.
But you're not. You can't be mad at people if they had 3 hailstorms. You can't be mad.
But my question is that with us being on the Front Range in a hail-prone area, there are products out there where the insurance company, I know they're a bunch of tight asses, but they can spend an extra 20%, 15%.
You know, hail resistant. You're talking
on materials
about,
and get at least get hail resistant shingles put on. You're already spending the same amount of money on labor.
They're not required.
And a little extra, and
they're not required.
Out on the backside.
They're not required, and they won't pay for the upgrade.
You know, I'm different than this guy. If I have insurance, I'm going to use it and take advantage of it because, generally speaking, they rip you off.
I know, but what he's saying is eventually everybody pays because they do rip you off. But do you understand? I'm going to tell you something right now. Jason, you're first of all, this whole discussion is on a false premise. Okay, listen to the false premise. You're upset that your insurance is going up. The premise is if they had less losses, if people had hail-resistant shingles, they would have less losses to aggregate and your rates would go down. The answer is never. They will always go up.
They will never go down, correct?
And they'll never stay the same, ever.
But I'm not even stay the same, but at least try and. Doesn't the insurance company expect you to mitigate your damage?
I don't know what you're saying, Jason. If I just told you your rates will never go down, and your rates will always go up, what is the difference?
Why didn't you? If you had a hailstorm, why didn't you get your roof done, man?
Because I've looked at it, and I've had people look at it, and it's not completely destroyed.
Did you have an expert look at your roof?
Technically, no.
I mean, but hold on. You possibly could have had hail damage, and because it wasn't completely destroyed, you didn't put in a claim?
I guess I
Jason,
I'll give you that, yeah.
That is the most idiotic thing I have ever heard in my life. I'm not calling you I'm saying honest to God, if you feel sorry for insurance, man, there is not an industry more evil. I swear to God. I'm not kidding. There's not an industry more evil because they try not to pay anything ever. And they keep putting up rates. And so you helped nothing. You didn't help yourself. You didn't help your neighbor. You didn't help keep rates down. It did zero good. I mean, I don't even understand. I understand not one thing you're saying. I don't even know what you're saying, as a matter of fact. Are you saying we should all look for ways not to put in claims?
No, Tom. I guess the thing that I'm getting at is with products that are available now, why the insurance companies don't spend a little more money on the material?
Because
and try
they
to
don't
mitigate their future losses.
Because they don't have losses. That's why. I'm telling you, you're operating from a false premise. They simply pass it on to the aggregated crowd. They do not have losses. That's it. Just like oil companies. I mean, you're thinking, well, why don't they do something about this hail damage? And maybe they don't care. Why would they? In fact, they don't want to put up more money for roofers. They don't want to pay for more product. They don't want to. They still make money even if they have what you call losses. They have claims
because they just pass along their losses and stick it to everybody else.
Jason,
right?
They pass along their claims. They don't have losses. They just
Where do you get that job?
Yeah. The insurance industry, listen to this. The insurance industry went awry when it started to be required. There was no incentive to be a good industry. You need them. There's nothing you can do about it. You need them. And now it's happened with health. It's so, really, it's just terrible.
Hey, real quick on him. You don't have to go back to him, but if he's still listening, man, if one of those storms was in the past year, maybe even 2 years, depending on your policy, it's not too late for you to put a claim in and get the roof done.
Hold on a sec. Mike, I didn't, hold on. Did you hear that, Jason? If it's been a year?
No, yeah, I got that. And the one storm that we had came through, it was like 2.5 years ago, so...
Yeah, it's too late. Well, okay, we got more coming up.
This report is sponsored by Panera Bread.
Travel across the metro area freeway system looking more like rush hour.
That's moronic. He really does. He's one of these guys that feels bad for the insurance company, which is amazing.
I don't know if he does. I don't want it to affect me, so I absorb the impact of it.
That's probably what he thought right there.
That's probably what he thought. Yeah,
well, here's what they think. If he puts a claim in, then his rates are going to go up. Well, this is what he's thinking, and the roof isn't destroyed, nothing's coming through. Right. So then when his rates went up anyhow, because all of his neighbors, of course, had things, he fucked himself.
Well, he should have had at least a roofer go up there and check.
And he's now thinking about it 2.5 years later, which has probably been a thought in his mind the whole time.
I waited on that.
Tom, are you saying oil companies don't lose money?
Generally speaking,
what they do is they pass it on, and it's made up.
They try to pass it on.
You mean refineries, or what are you talking about?
Well, oil companies, many of them went broke around here.
Okay, you're talking about individual operators.
He's talking in industry.
I'm talking about, okay, obviously, if somebody has an oil company, and it's a little fucking small oil company, they can get swallowed up. But if they have an aggregated base, they're never going to lose money. They're never going to lose money.
Well, look at that's not what they put out on their quarterlies, and it's.
You got to have oil, though.
Boy, Dave, you're walking down that pigeonhole right
oil
now.
I know they lose money. I know they lose money.
How many years has Exxon went literally into the red? Literally into the red when you take their assets and their income and they go into the red, and their outstanding liabilities.
Well, Tom, that makes no sense. If assets, they're going to have the assets, but if they're not making net dollars, they lost money.
I'm talking about assets as in ROI. Look at when they went negative ROI on assets and when they made no money at the same time. Tell me that.
I'll look up.
Because losing money means literally losing money, where they have nothing to go into. If they can go into reserves, they're not fucking losing money. They just raped us the year before. And it's an accounting trick that they use to say they're losing money.
Well, you could say that with every industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right. So I don't know why you would even pull that up and say that. You could say, well, look at Google.
No, there are, because there are people that lose money.
Look at Apple.
There are people that lose money. Okay, fucking Amazon is a prime example. Amazon never made money.
Prime example, and there are things called prime. You get that?
Play on words?
It was a play on. It was a double entendre.
There's not an oil man who's never made a return on investment ever on a year-to-year basis.
J.R. Ewing.
Tell me where they had a negative ROI.
BP after the spill.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. 713-8255.
Rick, what's going on with you, Ricky? What's happening?
No, nothing much. I'm just looking into trading in my vehicle and getting into a lease. So I just wanted to get some advice on what I should expect when I go into the dealership.
How long do you usually use vehicles?
We'll say about 3.5, 4 years.
Do you get tired of vehicles then? That's good.
Well, yeah, I get tired of putting money into them is the problem.
Well,
I like the warranty.
Leasing is the only way you should go if you do it correctly. It's best for everyone, but you got to do it correctly. So here's the deal. You got to buy a vehicle that you can afford and not overbuy the vehicle. You have to lease the same exact vehicle with the same exact features that you would if you bought it.
What are you looking for?
And because otherwise, if you compare monthly payments, and let's say a lease is $300 and buying is $600, then if you try to add things to that car because, hey, I'm still saving money, you lose all benefit as soon as you do that. because that car doesn't have the residual, and it will come back to bite you in the ass.
Gotcha.
If you but if you don't care about overpaying, you can do that too. I mean, as long as you can live within the terms of the lease, and that is the number one, mileage. The number one is the term. You're not going to have any early termination ever that will pay ever. Number two, the mileage. Number three, the condition. If you can keep the car in pristine condition, stay at or under the mileage, and you literally keep it for the term, you are golden, Ricky. And of course, you have to make sure the acquisition costs are what you would get with a great deal if you bought it. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So quick question for the mechanic guys. What do you guys think of Infiniti Q50s? What are you guys' takes on those?
Infiniti Q50s, guys. I know nothing about them. Guys,
they're not bad vehicles. There again, it goes back to, is it been maintained,
okay.
mileage, all that.
But instead of the maintain thing,
I know what he's saying.
Let's say this.
It's a good car.
Take all vehicles maintained exactly the same.
Okay.
Where would that one fall with, let's say, an Equinox or whatever? Just pick a vehicle.
Yeah, no,
Ford
he's asking about the vehicle. They're very good cars. Absolutely. That's an above-average car.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a high-trim Nissan. I mean, they're very, very nice cars. They drive very, very well.
Because I'm looking for something that's an all-wheel drive, and I don't want to go with an Altima because they just released the 2019 Altima all-wheel drives, and they're not very nice inside.
Listen, if you are going to control the mileage, it's better to do a 3-year deal.
Gotcha.
If you can stay, it's really good. Kevin, what is your question, Kevin?
All right, 06 Buick LaCrosse shifts perfect most all the time, and every once in a while when you're at a stop and you start to go, it feels like it's slamming into gear.
Yeah, there's a good possibility checking the codes in there. You're gonna have a maximum shift adapt in there. The AFL valve inside the transmission tends to wear out the bore, and the computer will try to compensate or ratchet up line pressure to maximum, so you'll get very, very hard shifts.
Good or
if they're caught early enough, we can fix them in the car. If they've done other damages, and obviously that transmission's coming out and we're going through it.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, man. Mike, what is your question, sir? Want to get these in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a 14 Ford Explorer, and like every probably 6-7 times a week, you put it in park, and it comes up with a vehicle not in park message up on the message board.
What is it?
Well, there's actually a TSB out there for that because the indicator switches themselves go bad.
Oh.
So it's actually a very common complaint.
Oh, okay.
So, so you just do what?
You have to replace a switch, is basically what it boils down to.
All right, let's go to Tessa. Tessa, go ahead.
Hi. We have a car that we were going to put a rebuilt engine into. It's an older car, but it had low mileage.
Okay.
So we just thought we would continue to use it.
And what's the problem right now, Tessa?
They've had it for 6 months, and they keep giving us...
Wait a minute. What's the name of the shop, Tessa?
I know. She just asked me that. So my husband did all the research. I guess it's not about going after the shop at this point. Like, I just want to know
what you should do. Well, what you should do is this.
Yeah.
Have you paid anything?
So my husband paid $1,000 via a money order, which I know it should always be a credit card. I know
Well,
that.
listen, Tessa, here's the deal. Here's what we do. We can't assume you're getting ripped off. Here's what you do. I really think you should get SOS inspections. Norris, you get him to inspect your car at the shop. He can go there, and you can tell the shop you do this with all your major repairs. You just want progress. And then they can't deny you access to your car. Norris should go there, and he should check the car, and then give you a report, and give us a report. And then, depending on what he finds, if things are being done well, but it just is taking a long time, that's different than nothing was done or they did damage. So Suzanne will give you the information to get a hold of Norris at SOS. Suzanne, give her that information. Ernie, what's going on with you, Ernie?
Hey, Tom, thanks for taking my call. I have a 2001 Subaru Forester. Replaced both of the O2 sensors, one before, one after the catalytic converter, and it keeps throwing the code that the O2 sensors wrong. Any ideas?
Guys, what do you think?
Which code? I didn't hear you say which code is it throwing.
It's throwing the O2 sensor bank 1 or bank 2, depending on the code.
Yeah. So, if you're doing the O2s, then you may have a problem upstream in the vehicle, in your fuel delivery that has to be checked out. The O2 is just reacting for the fuel. You've done it, and what kind of did you get a good quality O2 sensor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's a big deal. There's some junk that's out there, and sometimes they plug them in brand new and they don't work. It's really tough to think what right now would do something like that. Jeff, what would you get at?
Same thing?
Yeah, probably same thing. And I'd also be, if it continues to throw the same codes, though, I'd also be looking into ground situations. Yep. With the corrosive materials that we put on the roads, the salt brine and the mag chloride, grounds are a huge issue on cars these days.
303-713-8255. Okay. So an emailer along with Dan feels like it's not true that insurance companies don't lose money. And Dan says oil companies lose money too. I guess I should qualify that. I imagine you can have a quarter or a year that loses money. What I meant was they make up for it. They make up for it. And I feel like it's BS when they say, oh, woe is us. We've had a lot of storms in Oklahoma City. And then they raise rates for Oklahoma City. And then they've already made a ton of money in other markets that more than made up for the loss, and they didn't have to raise rates for Oklahoma City. But Oklahoma City's losses give them an excuse. And I feel like the insurance company uses these so-called storms and stuff. It's actually good for them. It gets them to raise their rates even though the net effect on the entire company is not a big loss. I hate insurance companies, folks, and I will battle them my entire life. Okay, remember, have a great weekend. Christmas Eve, Monday, we'll be back here. Save all your problems for me.
And you guys want to take a Monday off?
No, we're not back to Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we'll be back here. Doesn't matter. I forgot that. I thought you were doing Christmas Eve. Why did I think that? I really did think you were going to do Christmas Eve.
And you are now.
No.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Cool, we'll do it in.